Alright, let's talk about how you as an investor can get a 30% discount without ever having to negotiate with the developer. We have to understand that 95% or the average investor usually pays $1 for $1 worth of real estate. But then we have the smart investor who always somehow manages to pay 70 cents for $1.1 worth of real estate. Now, the reason is that 95% of the projects in the market are either fairly priced or overpriced. They're done by big established brands. They will give you certainty as an investor, but certainty always comes with a limited amount of upside potential. But on the other hand, we have the 5% of projects that are done by new developers that are trying to prove themselves to the market, that are trying to penetrate a new area, get attention to build momentum for themselves, or they're trying to get into a new buyer segment, for example, a boutique luxury developer going into mass production or the other way around. Now, you have to imagine two very similar buildings, but with very different pricing logic behind them. We have developer A, which builds at a market fair price and then sells at full price. And then we have developer B, which builds the same thing as developer A, but goes an extra mile and gives you 10% of added value that does not reflect in the price yet. That's gonna be our first point of advantage. And then in the second part, whereas developer 1 takes the full profit margin home, developer B is willing to give a huge discount, which is gonna become our second point of advantage. And this, as an investor, is where you find your golden egg. Now, what are things to look for when scouting for such projects? First, we have the obvious, which is a new developer with solid financial backing. Second, a developer that is clearly overspending, one, on the project itself, but two, also on their office and the location of their office. Three, on the show apartment. These are all good signs of a developer that is actually trying to make a statement. Another thing that could be a good sign is when they're doing a smaller project that could act as a proof of concept. And when it comes to the offer itself, if they are giving you a payment plan that seems too good to be true, it can mean one of two things. Either it's a shit developer selling a shit product and they just want to get rid of it so they incentivize the investor, or it's a solid developer making a strategic move. Now, the base premise of this entire framework is to find the developers that are willing to sacrifice their short-term profits for long-term attention. That is going to be our 5%. Now, let's put this in some actual numbers. Imagine we have a 2-bedroom from a new developer that is really trying to prove themselves to the market, sitting at 2,400 dirham per square foot with a 40-60 payment plan, which is really good. First, this developer is gonna provide 10% of added value that is not reflecting in the price. We're buying the unit at 3 million dirham, whilst the rest of the comparables in the area are sitting at 3.75 million dirham. That's our second point of advantage, which is that we're buying in at a 20% discount compared to the rest of the projects. Those two, plus the market appreciation that is going to happen during those 2 years of construction, is what's going to become our equilibrium and our capital appreciation. So then we go to phase 2, which is our unit has appreciated 40%. We sell for 4.25 million dirham, which is a 1.25 million dirham on 1.2 million dirham injected capital. That in itself comes down to a whopping 108% return on equity in only 2 years. That's a tangible example. And now to round this up, I'm going to give 2 projects that I think currently in the market are offering this exact same value proposition. All right, so the first one who fits the entire framework perfectly is Mr. 8. Now, Mr. 8 is sitting on the Dubai Islands luxury segment and gives you a ultra luxury product without pricing it like an ultra luxury product. So just by default, you're getting added value that hasn't been yet priced in. Now, the product in itself is extremely unique. The resale market competition is almost non-existent, and the type of ingredients that you get with a development like this gives you the potential to own a piece of timeless real estate, not just something that will be outdated 5 to 10 years from now. Now, they're giving a 35-65 payment plan, which is really good, almost unseen on Dubai Islands. This gives investors the breathing room they need or want. Obviously, they're a new developer. They want to prove themselves to the markets, so they are incentivizing the investors. They have 20 years of experience in European luxury, and in fact, they're doing everything in-house. So a developer having the capacity to do all of these things, 1, shows confidence, and 2, shows ability. Now, to keep adding to the value proposition, this developer has already, within their 5 first projects, won multiple awards. All of these are signals of a very strong developer that is making the right strategic moves where you as the investor can make your money on. Then going to the second one, we have Ahmadyar, which is sitting at the more affordable luxury segment on Dubai Islands. And with them, honestly speaking, it's probably the cleanest value proposition that I've seen on the island. They have simply undercut the entire price segment with 25%, whilst giving you the exact same product, if not better. You're getting fully fitted, fully furnished apartments that are genuinely beautiful when it comes to design. And whereas other developers will go 80%, if you look at the details, Ahmadyar goes the full 100%. And last but not least, their payment plan is extremely attractive. You pay 20% down now, and the next 20% only comes 3 months before handover. And then at handover, you have the 60%, which you can mortgage. Now, it's important to note that this is not a surviving developer. We're talking about a billionaire family with extremely deep pockets, which means that they are able to overspend on the product. They are able to overspend on the finishes whilst still giving you an extremely attractive price. This in itself is the exact definition of a developer making a strategic move. These guys are sacrificing their profits today to get brand awareness tomorrow and have a stronger position in the market tomorrow. And that's exactly the developer that you want to work with if you want to be in that 5%. Both Mr. 8 and Ahmadyar are checking every single box that we talked about earlier. They have strong financial backing. They're overspending on their product. They're delivering added value that hasn't been yet priced in, giving you an extremely favorable payment plan, and clearly moving with the intention of making a statement in the market. And this is exactly where you as an investor can make the most money. Now, if you are an investor that has the budget for one of these two projects and want to get a rundown of the numbers, just make sure to reach out to me either through Instagram, WhatsApp, or you can book a direct video call with me on the link in the description. All right, thanks a lot for watching, and see you in the next one.